If you're a coach, a consultant, a business owner who is looking to sell your coaching, your services, and your products, then this episode of Impact Hour is going to be for you. I'm Brandon Eastman. Welcome to Impact Hour, where we help coaches to actually enroll clients and impact more people by focusing on the number one thing that must come first in any coaching business or consulting, which is sales. You've got to actually be able to sell your coaching packages. And in 2019, when I first became a coach, I wrote a book, I created courses, I hosted live events, but I hardly sold any of them. I had no one-on-one or personal clients, and I had 6 people show up to an event that I spent over $2,000 advertising. And I finally asked myself the question, what's the problem here? Why am I not enrolling clients? Why am I not making sales? I know that I'm good at this thing. I've gotten results for people, but I was missing one of the most important pieces of all when it comes to selling your coaching services, which we're going to dive into today. Today specifically, we're going to be talking about how to actually sell your coaching services, as well as what to say on a sales call with your ideal client. So we've got a 2-parter coming at you today. Be sure to go in the comments. Let me know, what questions do you have when it comes to selling your product and service? I'd love to answer any questions that I can. I'd love any of your observations or anything that you wanted to add to the conversation. So feel free to go in the comments and post that now, because we're going to jump right into it. You're a coach, a consultant, a business owner who wants to actually sell what it is you're doing, but you might be struggling. You might have a product or a service or some sort of package or program, but you're having trouble actually enrolling people into your vision. You're having trouble actually creating the sales conversations to even enroll your clients in the first place. Or maybe you didn't even know that a sales conversation was necessary. You know, in 2019, I had the book, I had the courses, I had the program that I could guide people through, but I didn't have the clients. And in order to be successful as a coach, you have to know how to sell. But we've never been taught how to sell. College never taught us. School never taught us. Our parents likely never taught us. So it's up to me to help you to learn how to help you learn how to sell. I've been in sales since I was 18 years old, and I've learned a few things during that time that have helped me through this journey. And when it comes to selling your coaching packages and services, it really comes down to one thing that's most important after you have the package and after you have the product that you know you want to sell. And the most important piece is you have to have the traffic for your product. And when it comes to traffic, I mean eyeballs actually on what it is you're offering, eyeballs on your product, eyeballs on your service, really being known in the space that you're in, because it's going to be really difficult to sell what it is you're doing if nobody even knows you exist. And that was the situation that I was in back in 2019. I realized, hey, if I want to fill my live events, if I want to actually sell my book, if I actually want to enroll clients, then I've actually got to get people who are seeing what it is that I do. So I started to focus on a social media strategy. And it really wasn't much of a strategy back then because I was on practically every platform. I was trying to post every single day, which was a nightmare because, I mean, just imagine posting on every single platform, trying to get a post in every day. But it was better than nothing. And I started to actually get eyeballs on what it is I did. My friends, my family knew what I did, but it doesn't matter if your friends and family know what you do. It matters if your ideal client knows what you do. And I've talked a lot about this in past videos and past broadcasts that you can go check out if you go to any of my past broadcasts about how to find your ideal client. Because in order to get eyeballs on what it is you do, you really have to know who is your ideal client, where are they spending their time? Because there's 2 types of traffic that you want to start to develop immediately. The first type of traffic is inbound. Now, this is the long-term approach. Inbound traffic looks something like this. You create a post on social media. So you might make a YouTube video, you might make a LinkedIn post, you might post a picture or a video on Instagram. And then you see the little message icon light up and you're like, oh, this is really cool. You go check the message and it's from a prospective client. And the client says, Brandon, I would love for you to help me. I'm actually going through the same exact thing that you mentioned in that post. And I was wondering if maybe you could help me to solve my problem. That's the first form of traffic. That's the best form because you didn't really have to do anything aside from making the post in order to attract that client. I call that the client attraction system. Now, that's a longer term thing. People have to know you, people have to like you, and people have to trust you. And even if you've never personally talked to these individuals, you will still get messages, because when someone looks at your content for the course of 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 5 months, sometimes even sooner, especially if you're solving a problem that they know they have and they know that you can help them solve, then they're going to message you and you're going to have clients coming right in through your inbox. At a certain point in your career, maybe a couple of years in, all of your business can be inbound traffic. But a lot of coaches think that all they do is make posts and enroll clients from people who message them. News alert. No one is going to message you at the very beginning of you creating content and you starting your social media strategy. No one knows you yet. No one likes you, and especially no one trusts you. It might be a little harsh to say that no one likes you. You might be a very likable person, but if someone doesn't know for sure and has absolute certainty that you can solve the problem that they have, it's going to be a tough time to enroll that person. Okay. So inbound is a longer term approach. Now, when I work with clients, especially the clients who want to see results immediately within the first month, they want to get their investment back that they pay me to work with them and help them with, then I recommend to everyone outbound leads. This is the second form of traffic, outbound traffic. This is you going out there, starting conversations and engaging with your ideal client. And then from that conversation, you lead them to a call. You lead them to a Zoom session or a virtual coffee session. Or maybe if you're doing this in person and you're working B2B, then maybe you're going there and actually sitting down with your prospective client. But I recommend outbound to everybody at the beginning, because that's you putting in your time and trading your time for money. But think about this. If you spend 2 weeks going for a new outbound client and you're surfing on LinkedIn, you're looking through tags on Instagram, starting conversation after conversation, and it takes you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even 4 weeks to enroll a client, but the cost of your program is $5,000 to $10,000, you've spent 1 month enrolling one client for $5,000 to $10,000. That might be all that you need. So obviously, it's important for you to know your margins. It's important for you to understand how much money you need to survive. Or maybe you're in a position similar to where I was, where I had a full-time job where I was earning great income, and I was building my coaching business in the off hours when I wasn't working for that company. So I could take a little bit more time to find clients because I had a full-time income. However, if you're a coach and you know you can help people, you've already got a product, a service, a program, a package. If you don't, look at one of my past broadcasts or grab a copy of Sell Your Expertise, which is the Impact Accelerator Playbook. If you shoot me a message here on LinkedIn or wherever you're watching this, I will literally send you over a free copy of this. It literally guides you through the process from the very beginning of starting your coaching business all the way to enrolling actual clients. I won't ask for your email. I'm not going to ask for any of that. I'll literally just shoot you over the PDF so you can print it out and you can work through it that way. But when you're going outbound and you know your numbers, you know your margins, you can actually figure out how many messages you must send in order to create a sales conversation. And then once you have enough sales conversations, you know how many of those you must have in order to create a client. At this point, 1 in 4 sales conversations will turn into a high ticket client for most of the people that I work with. At the beginning, you might have 10 conversations and not sign up anybody. But what happens is once you sign up your first client and enroll your first high ticket client, it just becomes so much easier because now you have certainty in the fact that you're able to actually do this. And then you're excited. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to go on Sales Navigator. I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to go on Facebook and find more people to start conversations with because I know I can help people. And at that point, you help the person. You deliver the highest and greatest level of value for that human being. And then at the very end of you helping them, you say, hey, Trisha, how did this go for you the last 3 months of me working with you? She's going to be like, oh my God, it was great. Thank you so much for everything. These were the results that I got. Right now, you got to make sure you're actually delivering results. But I know that you are someone who is an expert at what you do and will deliver results. So Trisha will give you a testimonial. You can hop on a Zoom call, do a quick testimonial call, ask her about the results she got, how it was working with you, things like that. And now you can display your testimonials. And when you're in the sales conversations with people, you can actually talk to them. Hey, I helped somebody who was in a very similar situation as you to get the same exact result that you're looking for, to lose weight or to make more money or to get more clarity or whatever it is you help them with. If you're a life coach, financial coach, a fitness coach, whatever it is, if you have other people you've helped who are similar to that person, it's only going to make it easier for you to enroll more clients. And depending on the level of service you're providing, you might only be able to handle 5 clients, 10 clients. Like I will have no more than 8 to 10 clients at one time who are one-on-one, because any more than that, and it's really hard for me to serve those people at the highest level with what the program that I serve people with what it entails. So you just have to figure that out for yourself. And just remember this, the more offers that you make, the more of your program you will sell. Sales is a very simple game. It's called the numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more sales conversations you will have as a result. And the more sales conversations that you have, the more clients you will enroll that you will then get testimonials from. You might re-sign those clients. They'll start referring their friends and people to you. And that's when, after you go outbound, that's when the inbound leads start to do their part. Now, obviously, there's other ways you can do this. You could do paid advertisements. You could do Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, whatever it is. They all work. But you need to know how to do this organically, which means you actually spending the time to do it before you go out there and start putting all this money towards advertisements. Think of organic as the fire. Okay, organic meaning you're trading your time for money. Think of organic as the fire. Paid ads is the gasoline that you pour over the fire. But if the fire is not burning too brightly, or if the fire is not burning at all, you're going to be pouring gasoline over bare logs. You got to have the foundation for this first. And if you're not great at having these sales conversations, or I would even recommend rewording that entirely to enrollment conversations. If you're not having a lot of those, and if you're not comfortable with those, you got to get comfortable with those. Because if you're not able to sell, if you're someone who says, oh, sales just isn't for me, Brandon, you're going to have to figure it out, because you're in business. And one of the number one skills you must have in business is sales. And at some point, you can hire somebody like a virtual assistant or an outside media agency to actually do the outbound for you. But again, that can get expensive, especially if you aren't bringing in clients. And in order to tell these individuals what it is you want and to be sure they're doing it at the highest quality possible, it's important for you to know what you're doing before you do anything like that. So really, the key is to get traffic, to get eyeballs on your offer. Inbound traffic is the long term. Outbound is how you can get results and enroll clients in the short term. On whatever platform you're focusing on, start having as many enrollment conversations as possible. Lead them to a call, lead them to a Zoom call, have that conversation, and then make your offer. And in a future video, and at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can make that offer. Now, like I mentioned before, I have a new gift that I want to give you. It's called the Sell Your Expertise Impact Accelerator. I'm going to try to show you if you're watching the video. This is a complete workbook that guides you through the beginning of your coaching journey all the way to the end when it comes to enrolling and serving your clients and monetizing your brand. And throughout the playbook, there are QR codes that you can scan with your phone that will bring you to videos just like this one, where I go deeper into each subject to help you. This is all you need to get started and to start getting results. But if you're someone who wants to start getting faster results and enroll clients in your coaching or consulting business, shoot me a message here on LinkedIn, and I would love to talk to you about how I can support you the same way that I support my current clients. So when we come back in just 2 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about, now that you've gotten them to an enrollment conversation, now you're in the Zoom call with your ideal client. Now it's game time. right? Because this could be the difference between you enrolling a client and you serving this individual at the highest level to help them create the life that they want. And it can be the difference of that or them saying, Brandon, I'm just not interested right now. It's just not the right fit for me. So when we get back, we're going to talk about what it looks like to go through that enrollment conversation, the exact things to say, and I'm going to give you the exact 5-step process to help you enroll more clients on these conversations. So I will see you in 30 seconds. Awesome. Welcome back to Impact Hour, where we help coaches and consultants to enroll more clients and to create extraordinary impact. I'm Brandon Eastman with Be Better Industries, and I want to share with you in the second half of the Be Better broadcast exactly how to structure your enrollment conversations for the greatest results possible. You're out there, you're having conversations, you're getting people into your DMs or you're in their DMs if it's outbound, and you're telling them, hey, I can help you. And I'd love to go over a few different tips to do that. Are you open to have an enrollment conversation with me? Or are you open to hop on a Zoom call so I can go over what this can look like for you? 99% of them are going to say, absolutely, I'll take any advice you can give me, and they'll hop onto a call. So let's talk about how to structure that conversation once you get there. What is the best sales call script for coaches and consultants? Again, you want to change the verbiage from sales call to enrollment conversation. Because if you think about what sales is serving another human being by helping them to solve a specific problem. I've met a lot of coaches who are afraid to hop on the Zoom call, the phone call. And listen, if it's the first time you're doing something like this, then you're going to be nervous, right? But really, nervousness and excitement are practically the same emotion. So label the emotion differently. You're excited to have a conversation, to give value to somebody, to help them to improve their life in whatever kind of area or expertise you are an expert in, whether you're a fitness coach, a finance coach, whatever area it is. This works the same. And this is actually the same conversation that you'd have with me when we hop on an enrollment call. And I'm going to go over the exact 5-step process I use on each and every enrollment call, or what you might call a sales call. And I've been doing this for the past year and a half now. It gets incredible results. 1 in 3 people that I speak to will become a client. And by the way, this is high ticket sales. So these are packages that range from $5,000 to $15,000, at least at this point. Depending on when you're listening to this, it could be different at that point. So this isn't low ticket. This isn't like a $50 course. This is a large investment in order to help somebody to get a much greater return. Someone might spend $5,000 with you, but they might get $15,000 in return after 3 months to 6 months. That's a pretty great return, especially when you're teaching someone things that they can use even after you help them. So when it comes to the enrollment conversation, the first step is to be a human. All right. Spend time with this individual at the beginning of the Zoom call, and I'd recommend you put away at least 45 minutes to an hour for these conversations. Sometimes people really try to cram it in, and they try to have this in 20 minutes. It's just not possible. When someone is investing a large sum of money with you, they want to be certain that you're the person that can help solve their problem. And it's your responsibility to make sure that you are someone who can help solve their problem. And it's your responsibility to make your offer to that individual at the end of the enrollment conversation if you are, in fact, able to help them solve their problem. The first step is to be a human. Have a conversation with the person about them. Talk about them. Ask them about their life. One of the first things I ask is, where are you living right now? Right? And we'll talk about that. If I've been there, I'll talk about where I've been. I'll ask them if they've been to upstate New York, where I live. I'll ask them about their family. I'll ask them about their business. I'll ask them about them, and I'll get to know them. And at the same time, I'm identifying what kind of personality this individual has. If this person is to the point, they just want to go quick, then I will adjust my personality to go quicker for that person. If this person is all about the material things, they want success because they want a lot of money, they just want instant results in that way, while it might change throughout our coaching when they find something else that might be more important to them, I will focus on those things that they want. If the person I'm talking to is a talker and they just keep talking, I'll let them talk and I'll start to build that relationship with them, and I will become more diplomatic with them and talk more with them. And if that person is more of a thinker type, they're more of like that analytical process, step by step, very similar to how I am. They might be that engineer type, right? They might be very introvert. They might be very skeptical. Then I will cater to that individual as well. But the first step is ask the other person about them and spend the first 5 minutes of this conversation talking about them, not talking about your product or service and how you can help them, but just talking about them. And after you do that, that's when you move into talking about the person's goals, right? What are your goals? What are you looking to achieve in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year? What are the goals you have for your business? What struggles have you had on the way to achieving that goal? Why haven't you achieved that goal yet? What obstacles have you been confronted with? What have you already tried? Right now, you're uncovering the pain. You're uncovering the problems that this person is experiencing. And as they tell you this pain and these problems, I recommend you take notes and you write down exactly what that person is telling you, right? Because number one, it's going to tell them that you're listening, you're taking notes. But number two, you're going to use these different pain points later in the enrollment conversation so that you can help present and educate the individual on how you and your product, service, or program can help them to eliminate this pain or to help them make progress faster towards the goals that it is that they want to achieve. Something else I like to do is I like to ask the question of my prospect and of my future client. I like to ask them, if you continued for the next 6 months to 1 year having these same exact problems that you have right now, how would you feel if you were in the same place in 1 year as you are now? And it gets them thinking, wow, I really don't want to be in that situation. But if I was in the same place, it wouldn't feel good. I'd be disappointed. I'd be upset. I'd wonder what I'm doing wrong. And that's when I say, well, check it out. Based on everything you told me, are you open for me telling you and showing you how it is I can support you in reaching these goals and eliminating these problems? Okay. And this is only if you know you can help the individual. And the person's going to say, of course, please talk to me more about how you can help me. Okay. Because you're going to give them value in this conversation, even if they don't become your client. All right. You're going to walk them through how you would help them. You're going to give them some actionable advice, just like I'm giving you right now. You haven't paid me a thing, but I'm giving you actionable advice, because even if you don't message me and start that conversation with me later and possibly become a client, I still want to help you. And you'll still get results just using what I'm giving you now, but you would make results and get results faster if you worked with me or worked with somebody in order to accelerate your progress. So your goal is to deliver value as if this person was already your client. So when they tell you, yes, I would be so happy if you could tell me how you can help me, then comes the education process. And you can also call this the presentation, but I try not to call it that, because you're not pulling out a flip chart. You're not opening up a PowerPoint. You might have a curriculum that you guide people through. But the thing is, when you're doing one-on-one coaching or very small group coaching, the curriculum is going to be changed and tailored to that individual person. You might not need the first 2 modules. You might just skip to the third because that person's already got the first 2. So explain to that person, based on the problems that they have, how you can help them. And the key here is paint a picture of what it will look like when that person works with you. What does your program look like? Is it weekly? Will you meet each week for an hour? Will you have conversations in between that week? Will there be challenges or homework or exercises to do before you talk next time? How long is the program? What results can your client expect to receive from your program? Guys, the key here again is the results are most important. It's not the coaching that people want. People want a specific result. So what results will you get for people throughout this process? And it's your role and your job at this point to paint a picture of the results that you will get for somebody when they work with you. Because after you explain what the program looks like, what results someone can hope to accomplish, now is the time for them to say, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I want. Now, you might come across objections, or I don't like to call them objections because it's not just an objection. All objections are questions. So if you receive an objection like, now it's just not the time, really it's a question, right? And it's your job to figure out what the question is behind the objection. So if somebody says, I really need to talk to my spouse to make a decision like this, that's awesome. Listen, I'm not a hard seller. I'm not a pressure salesperson, because this isn't like a one and done thing. This is something where you enroll them and you're working together for a long period of time, depending on what type of coach you are and the duration of your program. So the last thing I look to do is to close that person immediately. Even if my client on the other end of the phone call says to me, Brandon, this is great, I want to sign up now. That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to send you an email with all this information. And if all of it looks good for you, let me know and I'll send you over an invoice, and that will be our next step. I never invoice them over the phone. And some people out there, even some people who play this game at a higher level than me, might say, Brandon, how could you not invoice them on the phone? If you get off the phone, then there's a chance that they won't sign up with you. There's a chance that they won't even pay you to start coaching. You know what? If that's the case, I don't know if I want that client. If I have to pressure you to work with me, how does that make you feel, knowing that I pressured you to join a program with me so I can help you? It's a weird, weird dynamic, okay? It's one thing to be certain and to say to someone, listen, if you continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to get the results that you want. From what you told me, it makes a lot of sense for you to start working with me now so that we can get a head start on what it is you're looking to achieve. Let's just get this going. What do you say? It's one thing to be certain. It's another thing to say, well, if we get off this call, my calendar's going to fill up. I don't know if I'll be able to fit you in. My prices are going to increase, right? That's just grimy. And I know it works for some people, but that's not how I do business. And it's worked great for me over the last year and a half, earning thousands from the clients that I've worked with, getting them incredible results. And not once was I in a weird situation where I had to pressure somebody to work with me. Have there been people who didn't work with me even though they said they wanted to? Yes. Several of them, though, contacted me later on saying, now's the best time. Let's do it. I'm ready to start working with you. So don't pressure people into signing up with you. This is a relationship business. But again, do what you think is the best thing to do. But the way that I do it and the way that I've seen the best results, just be a human being. Develop a relationship, be a good person, and people will sign up with you when it makes sense for them to, as long as you're following this process and you presented it in the way that I'm describing here. And finally, once you answer any questions they have, you enroll them. You say, hey, this is what it looks like to work with me. The investment is this much, or you can make this much in monthly payments for the next however many months. Which of these options makes more sense for you? Most people will pay you up front. Some people will pay you over the course of however many months your program is, or however you decide to price out your specific program, which is something that we've talked about on this channel and in these broadcasts in the past. But the next step is to enroll that person, not close them, not sell them, but to enroll them in your vision, enroll them in their vision, enroll them in your program that will help you deliver the results that will take them out of the pain that they expressed to you earlier. Now, if you want to go deeper into this concept of what a perfect sales call or enrollment conversation looks like, you got to grab a copy of Sell Your Expertise, which is the Impact Accelerator Playbook. Shoot me a message here on LinkedIn. I will literally send you over this entire workbook that guides you from the very beginning processes of starting your coaching journey, putting your package together, creating your program, knowing which social media profile to start with, how to find your ideal client, all those really important things, as well as how to connect with your ideal client and start the conversation. Shoot me a message and I'll send you over a copy of my Sell Your Expertise playbook that will guide you step by step. I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm not going to ask for your email address. Shoot me a message. I'll literally send it over as an attachment so that you can get started immediately and actually earning money from your coaching business so that you can turn your coaching from a hobby into an actual business. I hope these tips today on how to actually sell your coaching, as well as what to say during the sales and enrollment conversation, was helpful for you. I hope that you use them. I hope you took away one tidbit of advice. If you did, please share the broadcast. And if you'd like to know how I can support you at a deeper level and enrolling more clients and reaching your personal goals as a coach or in business, shoot me a message. Let's talk about your goals, and I'll talk about how I support my clients in reaching their goals. Thanks so much for watching. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.